And you folks have done a terrific job over the years, but we have to get prices down for a lot of reasons. We have no choice. For Medicare, for Medicaid, we have to get the prices way down, so that's what we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be streamlining the process so that from your standpoint, when you have a drug, you can actually get it approved if it works instead of waiting for many, many years. The U.S. drug companies have produced extraordinary results for our country, but the pricing has been astronomical for our country. Got to do better. New drugs have led to longer, healthier lives. We all know that. But we have to do better. Accelerating cures. We're forced and focused on accelerating FDA approvals. We're going to get the approval process much faster. One thing that's always disturbed me, they come up with a new drug for a patient who's terminal, and the FDA says we can't have this drug used on the patient. But they say, but the patient within 4 weeks will be dead. They say, well, we still can't approve the drug. Now, we don't know if the drug works or if it doesn't work, but we can't approve the drug because we don't want to hurt the patient. But the patient is not going to live more than 4 weeks. So we're going to be changing a lot of the rules. We're going to be ending global freeloading. Foreign price controls reduce the resources of American drug companies to finance drug and R&D innovation. I think you people know that very well. It's very unfair to this country. Our trade policy will prioritize that foreign countries pay their fair share for U.S. manufactured drugs, so our drug companies have greater financial resources to accelerate the development of new cures. And I think it's so important. But right now, it's very unfair what other countries are doing to us. One thing I really want you to do, I've seen this over the years, but a lot of the companies have moved out. They don't make the drugs in our country anymore. A lot of that has to do with regulation. A lot of it has to do with the fact that other countries take advantage of us with their money and their money supply and devaluation. Because we don't know anything. Our country has been run so badly. We know nothing about devaluation. Every other country lives on devaluation. You look at what China's doing. You look at what Japan has done over the years. They play the money market, they play the devaluation market, and we sit there like a bunch of dummies. So you have to get your companies back here. We're going to be focusing very strongly on mental health, because here's a case of mental health. Part of the problem is we used to have mental institutions, and I said this yesterday. We had a mental institution where you take a sicko like this guy. He was a sick guy, so many signs, and you'd bring him to a mental health institution. Those institutions are largely closed because communities didn't want them. Communities didn't want to spend the money for them. So you don't have any intermediate ground. You can't put him in jail because he hadn't done anything yet, but you know he's going to do something. So we're going to be talking seriously about opening mental health institutions again. In some cases, reopening. I can tell you in New York, the governors in New York did a very, very bad thing when they closed our mental institutions, so many of them. You have these people living on the streets, and I can say that in many cases throughout the country, they're very dangerous. They shouldn't be there. So we're going to be talking about mental institutions, and when you have some person like this, you can bring them into a mental institution, and they can see what they can do, but we got to get them out of our communities.